If you are still struggling with composition and you want to improve your composition skills, this video is for you. Plain and simple. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about photography and I make videos just like this one to improve your composition skills. So, if you're here for the first time, it might be a good idea to subscribe. A few weeks ago, I made this video about my favorite composition techniques. And in that video, I also gave a photography assignment to encourage you guys to submit images under the theme of composition, trying to use those composition techniques. I saw almost 400 images, which is fantastic. And in this video, we are going to talk about those images. And of course, thanks to everyone for submitting your images. It is very cool to see that this community is engaged. I also love to see new images every day under the hashtag Attilio Photo Club. We have over 2,000 photos there. Thanks for feeding that community as well. I'm really happy about that. And now let's talk about the composition assignment. My idea for this video, rather than compliment the best images and tell you how beautiful those are, I will actually gently critique images that, in my opinion, could be improved. I believe that in this way you guys will get more out of this video rather than just look at beautiful images. And when it comes to critique, it is a very personal and subjective matter. It's a matter of taste. I'm not a photography professor, I'm just a photography lover like you guys are. So take these critiques as personal recommendations on how I would change some of these images to possibly improve the final results. But before going into the critique part of this video, I also would like to show you some of the best images that I thought have been submitted. Here you go. Not bad, right? Now let's go into the hardest part, the photo critique. I don't think I ever done a photo critique on camera, so bear with me, I will try to do my best. My goal again is to share my experience, eventually my way of seeing with you guys and try to learn from each other. So let's go. One more thing, you will notice that I'm not going to share the name of the photographer because I think that he will recognize his own photo and he might not want to share with everybody else my thoughts. I don't know. It's just the way I feel to do it. And this is the first image. In the description, the photographer writes that this is a leading line composition. And I can see the leading line possibly of the roof. I can see the leading line maybe of the mountain. But the way I would use leading lines is to bring the attention towards something. I'm sure that the photographer wanted to share with us the view. But in my opinion, in this way, it doesn't really work because I see half of the table, half of what is happening inside, and half of what is happening outside of this little balcony. So maybe I would have used the table, maybe with some props, maybe with I don't know, a breakfast setup, keep the focus there and maybe keep the roofs out of focus, I would have kept the camera maybe a little lower. Maybe with this breakfast setup in the foreground, use the yellow background of the wall, and possibly at that point I could have used the roof to give a way out to the image. I don't know if this makes sense. I'm sure this was not the idea of the photographer. It's just a thought. Next image. I have to say that this is an interesting composition. I see the leading lines, I see the reflection, I see this silhouette with a rule of third as well. At the same time, I need to pay a very close attention to understand that this person is holding a glass of wine, and I understand that the holding the wine part might be important, since from the description I see that this picture has been taken in a winery. At the same time, I think that I would have liked to see this person walking away or walking towards the camera in the alley between the columns. At that point, I feel that the composition would have been a lot stronger. Food for thoughts. Next image. And this image instead is coming from the Netherlands. Of course, this is a very pretty photo, beautiful reflections, fantastic light. But why I have it here? The only reason why this image is here is because I believe that when you have reflections, your composition becomes even stronger if you add symmetry. And so I believe that the rule of third applied to this image actually is weaker than having the horizon right in the middle of the frame. Maybe next time. Next image. And for this image, the photographer in the description talks about a rule of thirds. So I see that there is a 2/3 of images with trees and 1/3 eventually with sky. I'm not sure this works. Because there's not much happening in the lower part with the trees, and I don't think that that light is super special, I possibly would have done the opposite. Meaning, I would have had 1/3 of trees, maybe even less, trying to play with the diagonal of these ridges, and then use a much bigger negative space with a lot of skies, maybe 2/3 of more, to create a more interesting composition. Does it make sense? By the way, this is a national park in Australia. Next image. In the description I see that this image is about negative space, and of course we see a lot of negative space in the sky. But I think that, again, this would have been even stronger if we would have taken out completely the trees, lowered the horizon even more, without caring about the rule of thirds, but having the horizon in the super very bottom part of the image, and then having just this silhouette of the mountains, and then immense negative space, huge negative space of sky above. Because those trees there are not really adding anything. At that point, we would have had almost a monochromatic blue image. Do you see what I see? Next image. There are two reasons why I have this image here and I'd like to talk about it. The first is that I am very bothered by the fact that the skyscraper on the left of the image is cut off at the top. I just cannot stand that cut. And the second reason why I like to talk about this image is that when you have this geometrical composition, architecture composition, it is very important that all the lines are super straight. Otherwise, it just doesn't work as well. I know it's complicated to achieve this result. You might need a tilt and shift lens, which is super expensive, but to a certain extent you can adjust this kind of images in Lightroom. Of course, this composition would have been a lot stronger if this avenue of New York would have been right into the center of the image with buildings left and right. But unfortunately, the photographer could not get that point of view clearly. Next image. From New York to San Francisco, the beautiful Golden Gate, very close from where I'm talking right now. Reading the description, the photographer mentioned leading lines. I see the leading line, I understand this composition. At the same time, I would have wanted the Golden Gate to feel this image a lot more, creating a stronger leading line that goes across the image. So I would have moved my camera to the left and tried to have the Golden Gate fill in the frame. At this point the leading line would have been even stronger, and we would have also cut this little, I guess, electricity pole on the bottom right of the image that really bothers me. And these are the images that I wanted to share with you today. There are so many more, but I cannot have this video to last forever. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more gentle critique videos like this in the future. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope that this will help you to improve a little bit your composition skills. I'm sure you noticed the I Like It Raw tee, latest design of the PhotoTEE collection, which is now available in every store. I wish it is only available in my store, link down in the description below. This comes with the AR logo in the back, super special. Hope you like it. I wear it a lot, very soft. For this design my favorite color is black, but there are a lot of other colors available. Thanks to the PhotoTEE collection for sponsoring this video. We really appreciate this. We couldn't do without you. And with this we are done for today. Click on the thumb up if you like this video. Click on the thumb down if you really hated it. You shouldn't do it. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.